my home? The skies, I think, is my home. I spend a lot of time in the air, getting from place to place. When I started DJing, I was on the road most of the time, but now I'm going traveling by aeroplane, which, even in the last, I would say 2 weeks, I was in Australia for the last 2.5 months. And then I flew from Australia to Miami, and I went from Miami to Barbados, and I'm basically here in Basel now. And I just haven't been anywhere. All my clothes are still in the same suitcase, and so I think the only place I can call my home right now is in the skies. The word home really is something of which is to do with your family and your friends. I mean, when I go home to the UK, I see my sisters and my niece. And when I go to Barbados, I see my mum and dad, because that's where they live. And when I go to Australia, because I call it my second home, is where I actually got some very great friends that I've met over the many years. So for me, going home is all about seeing family and friends. Yeah, I think when you're, have such a career like mine, when all the time is more or less taken up by the career, and I'm either DJing, or I'm either in the recording music in the recording studio, or I'm trying to get as much sleep as possible to be able to go and do the next parties. Most of the time I'm on my own, so it can get really lonely after time when you're traveling like this, but it's part and parcel of the job. I've gone through many friends, and they want to have an insight of what my life is all about. And after one weekend, I'll never see them again. But the only one that I have is Ian, and he's been with me for the last 10 years as a tour manager, which is a great position to be in, of course. But the thing is, I have really only a handful of friends that now and again come with me to the parties and enjoy them. I always end up with a pretty good guest list no matter where I go. But most of the people that I know are very cool friends that I've known over 20 years. I always get funny experiences that come out of the blue, And sometimes, when you're traveling, some people that you've never met before, they always say, you're that famous chef or that famous TV actor. They never say that famous DJ. So I always get taken for Samuel L. Jackson, or for, I don't know why, maybe because of his teeth, or there's a TV personality chef called Ainsley Harriott, and a lot of people think that I'm him. So yeah, they say, you're somebody famous. I go, well, I don't know about famous. He goes, I love your TV cooking shows. So that's always quite hilarious, yeah. My fame came because of the music, and no matter if I was famous or not famous, I would have always enjoyed doing what I do, because for me that's what made my life and who I am today is because of the music. I've been following music since I was 8 years old, very small, and I was DJing and entertaining people by that age, and so I've done nothing but do what I've enjoyed over the many years, and I've become very popular and obviously famous because of that. But I've reached a lot of heights in my life, in my career, which has brought attention from all walks of life, because I've basically been in movies, I've been on the radio a lot, I've been on MTV, I've had hit records, everything to do with embodiment of who I am as an artist. And I never really had that goal in mind. It's just something that came up. Do you want to do a movie? Yeah, I'll do a movie. Do you want to be in an advert? Yeah, I think I'll give that a go. Do you want to do some radio? No problem. That for me was just something that kind of carried into my life. And with that, I've been able to embrace it, the popularity and fame, because of how I grew into this. It was never like, well, I wanted to become a DJ, I made a hit record, and here I am. Because the thing is, the faster you go up and the faster you go down. So my life has always been about a journey of basically me understanding where I'm at as someone that has a responsibility to make sure that the dance floor rocks, and that's what I've ever done. I never think sometimes of a normal life. My life is never normal, no matter what. I've always got out of bed to go and do something. I can't sit around and do nothing. Whether I go fishing, whether I go camping, whether I go, I don't do hiking. I don't do that. But what I do, I enjoy going out on boats. I enjoy motorcycle riding. That for me is one of my biggest passions, is bike riding, and so it's not normal. And a lot of what I do isn't normal. I see myself as someone that's quite adventurous, and because of that, that gives me a sense of being alive, really. And yeah, I've done bungee jumping, I've done all sorts of real mad and crazy things, but none of it's normal, not at all. I used to be married many years ago, in 1996. I tried it and didn't like it. It wasn't for me, and it wasn't for her also. In the end, I mean, it wasn't that it was a bad thing that happened. I mean, it was just that when I was 31 years old, and I found the girl of my dreams who I wanted to be with, called Rachel. She was absolutely amazing, but the biggest problem was is that my career was going through the roof, and her career wasn't doing anything at that time. I mean, she's an amazing life coach now to a lot of business and actors, businessmen, and she's doing very well. But it's a shame because at the time she was 22 years old when she got married to me. So there was a bit of an age difference here as well. So yeah, I nearly got married 2 times since then, and it still didn't work out. So I think that marriage is not for me. But somewhere along the line, I would like to settle down and basically become a father, you know, to carry on the Cox legacy. But I'm still working on it. Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is about DJing is that what I've created is amazing, and the career that I've created is amazing as being a DJ. I think I've done more than most people could ever dream of by being a DJ. I mean, I'm involved in my radio station Global, which is reaching over 10 million listeners per week. I do have a record label called Intact Records, which I'm still signing great artists from all over the world. I'm still making music and remixing records as well. I've got a new album coming out called All Roads Leads to the Dance Floor, and this album basically eventually is going to be a live concept, which I'm actually showcasing in the next 2 or 3 months, with artists that was involved in making this album, for the musicians and singers, because there's some songs on the album as well. So eventually, and you know, Carl Cox and Friends events and the arenas that we do worldwide are something that of which I'll be able to still do, but even though I'm not DJing, because of the concepts is so great, that will eventually lead into me just being an events coordinator for a lot of the festivals that happen worldwide, and which is quite enough. So meanwhile, as a DJ, I mean, I still have enough energy and power to do it, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to say, right, well, no more DJing, and then put my eggs into the other basket, and then get behind everything else that I've set up, and then just kind of walk away. But it's going to be very difficult for me to do that at this point. I still feel that at the moment I'll still have something to say by what I'm doing as a DJ. What music do I listen to at home? Silence is what I listen to. Nothing. If I do listen to any music, it's funk, soul and jazz music from the 70s, 60s, 70s and early 80s. I really enjoy that type of music because that's what I grew up with. All that music of what basically got me here in listening to early 60s, no, late 60s funk, soul and rhythm and blues. And then into the 70s, funk, jazz, and early R&B is something that was basically my youth and the music that I enjoy. And then going into acid house and techno is something that I work with. But I enjoy all the encompassing of all that type of music for sure. I just felt about 3 years ago, a lot of people were trying to jump ship from this music. You know, they go like, right, you know, the DJs are over, the music's finished. There's no more scene anymore, you know, we're all moving on now, and I'm just like, huh? Hang on a minute. There's so many great records that are being produced and made right now. There's so many great events and parties worldwide that people are still going to from an underground point of view. We have to stand up for our right to, based on that this music is still here and it's going to be here to stay, because even after 22 years of me being in this industry playing this type of music, it's far from over. So my revolution is like, right, we've got to come club together and basically show the world that we still are into what is our music, what we embrace in the first place, and never let it be told that it's over, it's finishing, not a chance. So I decided that I wanted to make a revolution and then get other people to come and join that revolution based on standing up for your music and our right to party. And people kind of went, oh, you're right. That's such a good statement. We'll come to space and show people that, you know, in the end of the day, that It doesn't have to be commercial, it doesn't have to be sell out, it doesn't have to be anything apart from a great party with the DJs that I've selected for that time. And basically it is stuck. The Carl Cox revolution continues. So yeah, that's how that all started, and it seemed to be a very good slogan for all.